you won't get these drinks out here. I got money, so they put it in the bag. I'm pulling off all the tags and pulling off in a jag. Fuck being broke, cause broke niggas is mad. Get a job with your broke ass and get it out the hoe's ass. I go fast when I'm riding through the city lights. I'm from the Bay West Coast with your city like new Nikes, fresh jeans, and a snapback.
Hey tribe, welcome back to my channel. I'm a vibe, you a vibe, we should vibe, so you should what? You should like, comment, share, and subscribe, but only if you want to, 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 only if you want to. If you're watching, that's really all I appreciate. Everything else is extra, and if you do so, I greatly appreciate it. If you want that extra juicy tea, go ahead and click the link down in my description below to join my membership. It's real juicy over there right now. If you was ever questioning when was the right time to join that membership, it's right now. I haven't dropped the story time on there, but I've been posting hella pictures of me and friend. I dropped a behind the scenes video with me and friend. So you are going to want to check that out. And I'm going to be doing a story time on the membership soon, I promise. But I am feeding y'all good, juicy shit over there. So go tune in. All right, y'all. I know I've been gone. I know it's been 2 weeks since I posted a story time. And I know I told y'all in the month of May, I was going to give y'all my How I Lost My V-Car series. And I'm not going to do that. I lied. Yes, I am. Just joking. I'm just kidding with y'all. I'm about to jump into it. If y'all haven't been kind of keeping up with me and watch my live, and if y'all didn't watch my episode 2 of Let's Be Effing For Real, if y'all can't tell already, my energy is like not as like, you know how it usually be, and just a lot of different things is going on. You know, when it rains, it pours, but you know what? Like, I'm the wind and I'm still blowing and I'm still moving and I'm still, you feel me? If y'all want me to do like a life update, like an in-depth life update, let me know. And you know, I will work on that for y'all. Y'all should be seeing a vlog of me like prepping before my birthday, and me and my bestie went out. So that's gonna be coming Thursday or Friday. And then I am gonna have a birthday vlog next week. So just stay tuned for that. I will be doing a story time about the trip. But that's gonna be like later. So don't worry, one day y'all gonna get it. Some stuff I might not tell because I don't know. A lot of stuff happened. We was there for a long time. A lot of different things happened. So, but I am gonna do a story time though about the trip. Just stay tuned for that. I know, like, usually when I tell story times, y'all, I be in this chippery mood. And I feel like even if a lot of stuff wasn't going on right now, I wouldn't be in the best mood to tell this story time or this entire series, because this right here was a very pivotal moment in my preteen, teenage years. And just thinking about it and reliving this situation as an adult just really... Hearing this and saying this out loud is just blowing my mind. I was telling my little sis a little bit about it, and saying this shit out loud just really was just like, damn, like, this was some serious stuff. So, you know, I might cry. I might be down. I might be sad. Y'all might see my energy just fluctuate. One moment I might be just, and then one moment I might be like looking off into space and really just like reflecting on life. This is gonna be like 4 parts, 3 to 4 parts, not like super long, but it's a little mini series. And the guy that I did lose my V card to, he had been trying to reach out to me for a while, and like recently he's like been very persistent. And he said something, like, I haven't opened the messages, but like when they come up, I can like see them. And he commented on one of my posts, one of my Instagram posts, like on my story. And he said something, and it wasn't like bad, but it just triggered me for some reason. So yeah. But I did write this down. on my iPad because I had to just like get all my thoughts and lay it out so that I don't get lost in, if I do get like emotional, I can just look at my notes and get back on track because this was like a lot. So basically, part one is just going to be like a background leading up to everything. And, I'm going to just get into it. Give me a second, y'all. I actually need to text friend back real quick before I start. But me and friend are good. We had a conversation and like we cool. We was on the phone the other day for like 4 hours, so yeah. We talk all the time still. Nothing really changed. Like I told him how I feel, he told me how he feels, just stuff like that. Yeah, he was behind on like 10 assignments from school. I don't know why. I'm getting on his ass. I'm checking to see if he got everything in by 12 because I don't know why he hasn't been doing his homework. Yeah. Yeah, so anyways, let's get into this, y'all. Okay, losing my V card, part one. So I just want to talk about, let's just start it off. Okay, so at around like 11 or 12, y'all, I was already like hypersexual. I wasn't having sex, but like I wanted to. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Like, longtime friend was always talking sexual and like about like her sexual encounters. Mind you, if I was like 11 or 12, longtime friend is like a year and a half or 2 years older than me. So she's already like 13, 14 when I'm like 11 and 12. Yeah. So, like 12, 13, whatever. 13, 14. Around those ages. So she had already like lost her V card. I don't know at what age, but she was already doing sexual things with boys. So when she would like talk to me about it, it just made me so interested. It just made me feel like, okay, when we would go outside and like play in our neighborhood and like all the boys would be attracted to her and want to talk to her. So I always felt like, damn, is she getting all this attention because like she had sex already? Like, should I be doing that? Is that going to get me attention from boys? And I always felt like I wasn't pretty enough. I wear glasses, I had bags, I had a gap, I got a big forehead, so just having those type of features, naturally makes you feel like you're not as pretty as probably other people who don't got them type of features or whatever. So it was just like, dang, like if I'm sexual, then I would probably get more guy attention. But just hearing those stories like really made me be hypersexual. And I didn't tell anyone, like, but I wanted to have sex at that young of an age, even though I didn't even understand what it really was and like how doing stuff like that at that age, ain't everything you think it is. You know what I mean? Like you can totally wait. It's not worth it. These young ass boys don't appreciate, stuff like that at that age. You feel me? Like that's something you shouldn't even be thinking about at that age. But because like she talked about it all the time, I just felt like, okay, is this something I should be doing? Like, she's getting all this boy attention. She walks around with all this confidence. Like, I think this is something I should be doing. So with that being said, after so long, I want to say definitely by like 12, like me and longtime friend was like experimenting with each other. I don't want to say too much because YouTube has really been on my behind about my videos, which I don't know why, because I had videos where I was like talking reckless and they didn't demonetize, but all of a sudden they're demonetizing my try on hauls. I don't know. So, anyways, so we started experimenting with each other, you know, scissoring and kissing and touching and, you know, just experimenting with each other. And I liked it. I was just like, oh, I like this. So for a while, I actually thought I liked girls because I liked what me and longtime friend was doing with each other. So it just made me even more like hypersexual. And I know this may be uncomfortable, but I feel like parents need to be asking their kids more questions and making them feel more comfortable, because I feel like if I would have came to my mom and let her know I felt this way, she could have talked to me and helped me navigate through this better, instead of like following what someone my age is doing, thinking that's the right thing to be doing and how to get these emotions and feelings out. Okay, so keep that in mind. You know, I was just thinking that hunching was the thing to do at a young age because of someone who was very influential in my life. You know, I looked at her like my big sister because, like I say all the time, me and longtime friend, we clicked up, and longtime friend sister and my sister was like clicked up. It was always like that since we was like little kids. Okay, so boom, my first time being actual was with a girl, and it was with longtime friend, and I was like 11, 12 years old. So when me and Lee started becoming friends, as y'all know, Lee was like one of my friends who was just one of my biggest frenemies. Like, we was really good friends, but at the same time, it was like something, Lee didn't really like me. Or I don't want to say Lee didn't like me, but like she always wanted to feel superior than me. I guess that means you don't like somebody, because why would you want to feel superior to somebody you like? I don't know. We was young. So Lee was really like my downfall in being way more sexual. My bad. Hypersexual than I should have been. You know, I was already doing things with longtime friend, but Lee kind of like made me want to just prove her wrong all the time. Like, I can do this, I can get these guys, and da 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 da. It was like a competition between me and her that I felt like I needed to keep proving her wrong. Like, girl, you think like you can take this dude from me, you can get this dude that I like. Okay. So with that being said, Lee always pointed out to me, without saying, but saying it, like she was better than me because she was white. I'm gonna just say Lee was white. If y'all don't know, Lee was white. She was Portuguese, basically white. Everybody looked at her like the white girl who hung out with all the black people. That's just how it was. I'm not racist. I love all type of races. I hope when you guys hear these story times, y'all don't think I'm being prejudiced or judging nobody or anything like that. I just need to y'all to set the scene, because I think I'll be forgetting some time to tell and describe certain people, and y'all don't understand like the dynamics of me and other people. So that's not it. I have white friends, I have black friends, I have all type of race friends. I'm not that type of person who thinks, I'm not that type of person. I'm just letting y'all know. But she always made it known like, I'm this, so I'm better than you. I got long blonde hair. I got, you know, Lee was thick, you know, she had body. You know, I always had like a slim, thick body. I had boobs, but Lee, she was, you know, Coke bottle shape at a young age. You feel me? Like, I was just like slim, thick. Not even slim, thick. I was slim with boobs. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. But she always made it a point to point out, her features. She had like hazel eyes, long blonde hair, thick. So it always made me feel like, okay, like, girl, I got eyes, I can see you. Like, I know what you look like, I know what I look like. You don't always need to point that out to me. Like, you feel me? Like, I don't care. Why do you need to throw what you look like in my face when I can see you and I know what I look like? You don't need to compare you to me. So, as y'all know from the story times, every boy that I would tell Lee I liked, she would flirt with. She might not have done it right away, but eventually she would flirt with them. So it was just like, I'm thinking like, this is my friend. This was my best friend at the time. Besides longtime friend, I could tell her who I like. I could tell her my crushes, and I was like dumb and naive. Like, I didn't learn my lesson the first couple of times. I told her I liked somebody, and then we around them, and then she played it cool at first, and then next thing I know, she flirting with them, she in their face, she trying to be with them or just trying to get them to like her over me. So that was like really affecting my self-esteem, and I just kept feeling like, why does my friend keep doing this, and why do guys would talk to me then talk to her? And it was just like really messing with my mental at that age, and it just made me feel like, well, maybe if I start doing things with these boys, maybe they would pay more attention to me than her. So that's where my mind was, because I just kept feeling like, damn, like, what do I need to do to stand out and these boys stop, talking to my friend when she basically throwing herself at them. So it just was really affecting my self-confidence. On top of that, like, Lee had way more freedom than me. Like, her mom didn't care about shit she did. I mean, she tried to enforce it, but Lee didn't listen to her mom no matter what she said. Like, Lee cussed at her mom, cussed around her mom, stuff like this. And I would always be telling her, like, girl, stop talking to your mama like that. Don't talk like that around your mom and stuff like that. So that kind of like mess with me too. Like, I mean, even though my mom let me go and do a bunch of stuff, it was just like, it was different. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Like, my mama was still on my ass about stuff. Like, I would get in trouble if I didn't come home when I was supposed to. I would get punished for a couple of days, my phone taken or whatever. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't like I could just walk in the house and tell my mom, oh, mom, shut the F up. Don't be asking me where I came from. That was how Lee would talk to her mom, so she had more freedom to do things, and she lived in the neighborhood with all the boys I like, you know what I mean? So she had more access to them and could hang out with them more often than I could. I'll come over there, after school, but I had to go home or on the weekends, or stuff would just happen and I would leave because my goddamn feelings then got hurt because I kept going over there getting my goddamn feelings hurt. You feel me? Okay, cool. So let's just get into it. So one day I came over to Lee house and we kicking it or whatever, and me and her got into it about something. I don't know what, most likely about a boy or something, but we getting into it. We had a little argument, tit for tat, and I was just like, girl, you get on my goddamn nerves. I'm leaving. Now, when I said I was leaving, I was still spending the night that weekend, but I was just leaving for the moment. It would be times where like I would leave, but I didn't want to go home because I still wanted to be in the neighborhood. But I did have other friends in that neighborhood. I just wouldn't spend the night at their house. I would just go to their house, kick it for a little bit. And then either I did eventually decide, okay, I'm gonna go home, or I would just go back to Lee house. Like, maybe we just need a little space, a little cool off. So yeah, so I told that girl, I was like, girl, bye. I'm finna go to our friend Ori house. Now, Ori was like our older partner. Now, I think Ori was like 3 years older than us. Like 2-3 years older than us. So at this time, let's just say I'm 12. She had to be like 14. No, Ori was like, I think Ori was older than my sister. Yeah, Ori was older. I'm gonna say Ori had to be like 14, 15. Like, she was like older, and she carried herself like real grown, but like cool, but not like fast grown, but like she always gave older than her years. So I walked to my friend Ori house, and one thing about Ori, she was like that dark skin, super dark skin body, confident, pretty, hair always done, dressed always down to the T, always in the latest stuff. Like Ori was just that girl. Like she was that girl, and she had the niggas. When I tell you, Ori was always getting the fine dudes with cars and money and smooth talking, just dudes that was just them niggas. Like she had them niggas, not them boys. She had them niggas, okay? Like that's one thing I say about Ori. And one thing about it, the dudes she talked to either had like a little brother or a little partner, you feel me? And anytime I would kick it with her and she was kicking it with one of her dudes, like she'd be like, I'm with my little sis, like you got somebody for her, period. So I'm just like, let me go over to the big homie Ori, because it was never no weird stuff between me and her. So yeah, so I'll go over there and she call up some boys or whatever, and they come pick us up. And we blowing down the house. We riding around thinking we just the baddest bitches ever, because he had a scraper. And if y'all not from the Bay, I'll put a picture up here of what a scraper is. So we riding around in the scraper, slapping, blowing down the house. They took us to get something to eat. We pull up down to the marina and we blow some more. We looking at the water. We talking. Like these dudes was so cool. Like these was like the boys that Ori would talk to was like the very mature dudes. Like they wasn't them corny, goofy, you feel me, touchy-feely kitty type dudes. Like these was very mature dudes. Like they could hold a conversation. They was funny. They were had you feel me? It wasn't just basic. Like these was very mature guys that she would hang around. So it was always like a cool time. Like it wasn't like, oh, is they gonna ask us, do we want to do the freak nasty or ask us dumb stupid questions like these little boys be doing? Nothing like that. Like, nah. So we having a good time. They go get a little bottle from the store. Damn. Was they? How old was they? Did they? I don't know. Maybe they knew somebody at the store. All I know is the one she was talking to went in the store and got a bottle. Now, I don't know if he got somebody to buy it for him. He bought it. I don't know. I just know he went in that store and he came out with a bottle and we was drinking. So we having us a grand time. Like we litty in the city. We having a good time. The dude that he had brought for me, he was hella cute. He was fine. Ooh, he was so fine, and he smelled good. Like y'all, I was just having a good old time. Then forgot about all that little drama with Lee. Like I'm with big homie Ori, and she taking care of me. Like she making sure I'm good, because I would tell Ori like all the stuff that would be going on between me and Lee, and she would always be like, I don't know why you friends with her. Even though her and Lee they was cool. They was like real tight too. She would just tell me like, I don't know why y'all friends. But she was still friends with Lee. Like, and you know what I mean? So yeah. So a couple hours had passed by, and basically the dudes was finna go be about their way. So I actually text Lee and was just like, oh, I'm about to head back to your house. I'm gonna be back in like 20-30 minutes. And she was just like, oh, are you still staying the weekend? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still staying. Like, you still mad? Because I'm not mad no more. Like, I'm cool. She was just like, I'm good. Like, whatever, you can come back when you're ready. So I'm like, all right. So we head back to Ori house. We parked a little bit, and you know, we just chopped it up with the dudes a little bit more. I think they like smoked us out one more good time, and then they went about their way. Ori was asking me if I wanted to stay at her house, and I was like, no. I text Lee like, we cool. I'm finna head back to her house. Mind y'all, like it's late in the day, like it's in the night. So when me and Lee got into it, it was already like 10-11 o'clock. So I'm coming back to Lee house. It's already like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. It's like You feel me? Like, it's not like daytime. It's, well, anyways, y'all get what I'm saying. So I am walking back to, because mind you, Lee lived on this corner house, and then you walk down and then you make a little turn, and then Ori lived at this particular time, like she lived like around the block or whatever. Now mind you, so many people lived in this neighborhood that we knew, like everybody, it was like this neighborhood, like everybody really lived in this neighborhood. It was like so many people lived close by Lee's. So just keep that in mind. So as I'm walking back to Lee House, it's 3 a.m. I'm just on cloud 100,000 because we didn't blew down like 5 of them, and then we had some drinks. So I'm lit. I'm just feeling myself like, I didn't got the boy number or whatever. So I was just like, feeling good, like, you feel me? Walking. So as I'm walking, I see a light skin like fake running from Lee House. Like, you know, like not like full speed running, but like, you know, that like light jog, like, okay, let me get up out of here. You feel me? I think somebody like running basically from Lee House. But I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. But then I'm like looking, you know how when you like intoxicated, but then like something catch your attention. So then you like not sober up, but you like focus, like, hold on, what did I just see? So my eyes got the focusing, like, who the hell is that? Like, why is they running? Because mind you, it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You see somebody running, you paying attention, like, what is they running from? Where are they running to? Like, what's going on? Are they being chased? Like, I have to gain focus. So I'm looking and I'm like, that's Toby. I'm like, why would Toby be running from Lee House at this time? Now, mind you, it wouldn't be uncommon because like we used to sneak them in her house or like in her backyard. Sometimes her mom would just let them come over. Now, Toby had a cousin, I forget what I call him, and Lee's mom didn't mind if he was over there because everybody thought he was, but everybody did think he was, you know, at the time, but he wasn't, but everybody did. But her mom was cool with him being over there, but she was not cool with Toby and everybody else being over there because they was doing too much at that time. So I'm just like, still like, why would he be coming from her house this late? Like, so I'm thinking like maybe he was coming from somebody else's house, like where she lived, other people lived in that area, and I could have just caught him running and it looked like he was coming from her house, but he could have been coming from somebody else's house. Mind you, she lived on a corner house. He could have been just coming down the street passing her house, and it just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I'm just like, okay, like, usually, if Toby would be coming from somebody else, he would be with somebody. He would either be with his cousin or something. I don't know. He could have been by himself. Anyways. So, I'm just like, okay. Like, I just, you know, just like, all right, cool, whatever. So I knock on the door because I told Lee I was going to be on my way. She should be expecting me to come. She said, knock on the door. Well, shit, I would knock on the door. Like, her mom wasn't the type, like, me knocking on the door at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Ain't nobody gonna be, like, her mom might be mad if her mom comes to the door that she had to get up, but she's not gonna be questioning me, like, why are you coming in the house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? She's just gonna be, like, mad that she had to get up. But I knew Lee was up, so Lee room was before her mama room. She should know it's me knocking on the door. Mind you, I don't know if I did text Lee and said I was here or not, but anyways, I just knocked on the door. Lee's sister ended up coming to the door and she was just like, oh, hey girl, we just rolled up, like, you trying to blow down the house? We finna hotbox in my girlfriend's car. So I'm like, oh, well, you feel me? Me back then, I ain't never turned down a session. Never. Baby, I would pass out and go to Pluto before I turned down a session. And then still, you better wake me up and pass it to me. I don't give a shit if my eyes was rolling back to the back of my head looking at my brain. Pass it to me, hold it to my mouth. I'm puffing it. Like, y'all, like, I had no limit when I was blowing down the house, y'all. Like, I would, like, literally, like, if I'm asleep and I smelt it, like, I'm waking up. Like, pass it to me. Like, what did you, why you ain't wake me up? Like, what's going on? Like, So I'm like, yeah, shoot, why not? So I go in Lee room. I'm like, hey girl, your sister said she about to like blow down the house. She asking us if we want to go hotbox in the car. Like, is you coming? She was just like, oh yeah, cool. So we go, hotbox with her sister and her girlfriend in her car, y'all. We laughing, y'all. That was back then where, you had the giggles when and we just in the car having a grand old time, giggling and stuff like that. So after the session, we went back into Lee's house and we went into Lee's room and we called the party line. Now, if y'all don't know what the party line is, I feel so bad for these new kids who grew up and didn't call the party line. Like, that was top tier in my goddamn memory, childhood, teenage years. Like, that was like a top tier, like, error. Like, seriously, like, basically the party line was like going live, like how you go live on your Instagram or YouTube or something. I'm gonna say the party line was equivalent to going live, because you call that party line, you never know who gonna answer that phone and how that moment gonna go. If somebody recording a call, if you get on the phone with somebody, you never know what's gonna happen when you call the party line. So we get on the party line and Lee was hilarious. One thing about it, I will say, Lee was so goddamn funny. Like, she would be making these funny noises, telling jokes, just like saying hella stuff. But one thing about it though, Lee would get on that party line and she would talk nasty. When I mean nasty, filthy, nasty, you would have thought like this girl was so experienced. Mind you, like I said, we're like 12. But the way she was talking, I was just like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Like, she talking about like she just the throat go, okay? And I'm just listening to her like talk about, like, she would just basically be like having phone sex on the damn party line with dudes. Talk about like how she a throat go, basically. So I would just be like, she never told me she did. Like, it's one thing when you on the party line saying stuff, but like the way she was describing it was like, girl, you had to do this before. And at that particular time, like, Lee, she didn't tell me that she was doing that kind of stuff. She would just talk about it, but she never said like, oh yeah, I was giving sloppy toppy. You feel me? Like, I didn't think she was doing that kind of stuff yet. But after hearing this, I'm like, girl, how do you know this like this? Like, you're talking about this like it's from experience, Bookie. Like, you had to been doing something. So yeah, after we get off the party line or whatever, we just start talking or whatever, and she asked me if I ever gave a guy head before. And I'm like, I ain't ever gave no guy a head, but I like experimented with longtime friend, but I ain't never like sloppy toppy no dude yet. Like, I ain't there yet. Like, I'm gonna just keep it. I was telling her, like, I want to try, but I ain't, I'm scary. Like, when it come down to it, I was like, I want to, but I ain't did it. Like, nah, no. So I'm asking her, like, I mean, why have you? Because the way you talking on this phone, on this party line, Bookie, either you seen something or you doing it. Because ain't no way. I mean, y'all, she was making the noises and everything. And I'm just like, whoa, like, is she really doing this on the party line? Like, people recording these party line conversations, and you never know who you really on a party line with. A lot of people got caught up with stuff like that, like talking crazy on the party line, and then somebody recording it, and then it's somebody you actually know. So, you feel me? It was just like, she was bold. Now, she would sometimes like disguise her voice, and it wasn't like we was saying like our real names, like we was like making up names, but people voices. You get what I'm saying? Like, she had that voice where if she slipped up and really like a little bit sounded close to her, you knew it was her. Like she had this distinctive voice. So anyways, she's basically telling me like, yeah, and you'll never guess who I did it to. And I'm like, oh, T. So I'm like, well, who did you like? Hold on. She's like, guess. So I'm like, I don't want to guess. Tell me. I hate when somebody want me to guess something. I'm just like, girl, who was it? I'm like, I'm naming off like her crushes and guys that I think she like. I'm like, oh, was it Wooty Woo? Was it this person? Was it that person? She like, no. So I'm like, well, who? Because I can't think of nobody else. I'm like, you sure I know them? Because I didn't name all the boys that I think like you or you like them. So you feel me? Now I didn't name none of my crushes because I'm like, you know, Lee tried me on a lot of stuff. Like she would flirt with them, like she would kiss them, like she did a lot of stuff. But I'm just like, I don't think she would do something like that with somebody I like. I don't know why I didn't think that. I don't know why I didn't think that. I don't know why I didn't think that. If this girl was bold enough to kiss your crush in front of you multiple times and let them touch on her in front of you and all the stuff, why wouldn't you think she would give them sloppy toppy either? Like, girl, being young and naive is just, it's killing me that I was just this naive. It's just crazy. It's crazy business that I was this goddamn naive to think. Why would I think that? So she like, no, none of them. And I'm like, so do I know them? She like, you do know them. So I'm like, well, who? She was like, your best friend. And at the time, I had a couple guys that I would call like my best friend, but ultimately, Toby was my best friend. Like we called each other best friend. We still call each other best friend. Like that was my best friend. So I'm like, my best friend. What best friend? Like I'm playing stupider than stupid. And I'm like knowing she talking about Toby, but I'm like, can't be. Maybe she's talking about somebody else that I be fake calling best friend or something. Like she's not talking about Toby. Like I know this girl is not implying that she gave Toby sloppy toppy. Like I know she's not implying this. So I'm like, are you talking about Toby? And she was like, maybe. And I'm like, well, if not him, then who? Like who? Now I'm getting mad because I'm like, girl, this ain't funny no more. Like, this ain't funny. Spill the beans. Who the hell did you give sloppy toppy to? Cause girl, I know you ain't give sloppy toppy to Toby. Like, I just know you not about to tell me Toby. So basically, she never confirmed whether it was Toby. That's all she said, your best friend. But like I said, at the time, it was a couple dudes that I was like calling my best friend. But ultimately, like when it came down to it, Toby was my boy best friend. So it's just like I know goddamn well. I just know goddamn well this girl cannot be talking about him. So she would not tell me. She was like, nope, I'm not saying nothing else. Nope, I'm not saying nothing else. And I'm like, girl, no, tell me. Because what the hell? I'm like, you already been doing funny ass shit. Like, been trying me with my crushes. Like, I'm just asking her, like, what? I don't know how I said it, but I'm just basically like, why do you keep doing stuff like that? Like, why do you keep, like, going after the boys I like? Like, why do you keep doing that? Like, that's not what friends should do. Like, why do you want to hurt my feelings? Something along those lines. So she didn't want to tell me. So I called Toby. And it wasn't uncommon for me to call Toby in the middle of the night. We would always call each other in the middle of the night and be on the phone with each other for hours. Like, Toby is really like my boy best friend. Like, we can get on the phone and start talking about aliens for hours. Or we can talk about anything. Like, even at that age, like, we would get on the phone. I remember we had a conversation about hamburgers and just heck of stuff. Like, we just talked on the phone a lot. So I call him up, he answered, and I'm like, hey, what's up, best friend? Da 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 da. We just having a conversation. Like, I'm being cool, but like, y'all, on the inside, I'm like boiling. I'm like mad. I'm like ready to cry because I'm just like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, she is talking about Toby. Like, I just seen him running from this way. Like, was he leaving her house? Like, did she just give him sloppy toppy before I came? Like, I know she didn't give my crush sloppy toppy because me and her got into it and I left. I know this bitch did not. I'm like, I'm just trying to think like, nah, ain't no way. Ain't no goddamn way. Ain't no way. So after me and Toby just talking on the phone for hella hours, I'm just like, best friend, can I ask you something? And you be honest, like, just tell me the truth. Now, I know Toby knew I liked him, but I don't think he knew I liked him as much as I did. At that time, boys don't really ain't paying attention. Like, you feel me? Like, everybody liked him. You feel me? He probably didn't think nothing of it because I always was just, we was just friends. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think he just looked at me more like, okay, she never said she liked me. Most other girls would come to him and tell him, like, I like you. I want to be with you. I never did that kind of shit. I just feel like for me personally, I never thought like you should, go after the boy and tell the boy you like them. Like, they should know. But I don't know. I digress. I don't know what y'all think. Do you think girls should go after guys they like, or should you just give hints and he should just know and he should come after you? Let me know. So he was like, yeah, ask me whatever. And I'm like, don't lie though. Like, be honest, because just tell me the truth. I was like, I heard from a little birdie, because y'all back then it was always a little birdie. I heard from a little birdie that Lee gave you sloppy toppy. And he was just like quiet for a little minute. And I'm like, tell me the truth. Like, is it true? Like, she won't tell me the truth, but just tell me the truth. And he just like quiet on the phone. And my heart just like thumping out of my chest, y'all, because I'm just like, and look, I'm just gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. I'm just thinking like, damn, like, how she gonna get my crush sloppy toppy before I do? Now, I wasn't planning on giving anybody sloppy toppy at this point. Like, I thought about it and, I wanted to, but I wasn't like thinking about like actually doing it. I just wanted to have sex. You feel me? I wasn't really like thinking of like giving somebody sloppy toppy. I just wanted to have sex with him, basically. Like, I just thought like my first time was gonna be with Toby. You get what I'm saying? Because I really, really liked him. I said, over every boy I liked, it was just like I really wanted to lose my V card to Toby. So I'm silently crying because I know the answer. Like, y'all, I'm silently crying because I just know the answer. Because if it wasn't true, he would have just been like, no, like, where you hear that from? So finally, he was just like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yup, she did. And I was like, was it today? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you lying. Like, don't lie. He was like, nah, I'm serious. Like, I just left her house a couple hours ago. Because mind you, like I said, like, I got back to Lee house. We had the little session. And then we did the little party line. Like, y'all, we would be up all night on the weekends. So mind you, it gotta be like, because the sun was coming up. Like, literally, it was like the next day we on the phone. We was like on the phone to like, the sun was coming out. So it had to been like 4, like 5, like 6, about 6 o'clock. We still on the phone. This is when, I'm asking him this stuff. The sun is coming out. So I'm just like, wow, like, really, like, that's crazy. I'm just like, damn, like, wow, like, whoa. So I'm just like, well, how many times has she did it? He was like, I be going to her house all the time and she be giving me sloppy toppy. And I'm like, whoa. So this is not like this is the first time like this happened. He like, nah. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, damn, like, I'm speechless because I'm really crying. I need to get the hell off the phone with him. So I do. I'm just like, okay, well, the sun coming out. Like, I'm gonna talk to you, or I'll see you later, when we come outside. So I get off the phone with him, y'all, and I just go into Lee's bathroom and I'm like pouring, crying. Like, my heart is literally broken that this girl I call my best friend is giving the boy I like the most, is like the guy like I expressed to her that I want to lose my V card to, I really want to be with one day, and you going and you giving him head. So that really crushed me, and that right there, y'all, kind of drove me into really wanting to have sex. Like, that made me feel like, okay, I gotta start having sex, because that way guys would want to talk to me instead of my friends if I started having sex with them. So it started making me really like talk to boys sexual and really try to like get boys to want to like have sex with me. Well, not get boys to want to have sex, because they want to have sex with anybody, but like really like set something up to where I do it, because you got to think like Lee got more access to do that at her house because that's her house. Ain't going down at my house. You feel me? Either you feel me? Like, it's definitely not going down at my house. Like, So later that day, I'm like, I go to Lee and I'm like, so you did give Toby head? Like, was that him leaving your house? Because when I was walking here, I saw him like leaving your house. And she was just like, yeah, like, and y'all, me and her got into it because I was just like, that's hella messed up. I'm just sad all over again. I was already just crying. Whatever. We get into it or whatever. And after that, I did stay that entire weekend. I think my mom picked me up on like Sunday night, because that day we did go outside in the neighborhood and was like outside with everybody in the neighborhood. It was a cool ass day. Not really too much happened or whatever, but I was hella distance from Toby and Lee. Like, I was just hanging out with like everybody else, and like Toby felt it. Like, he would like come say stuff to me and I would just be like, oh, okay. Like, yo, I couldn't even look at him. It was just like I couldn't even, like, my heart was broke. Like, I felt like he cheated on me with her. You know what I mean? Like, I was so heartbroken. That shit like really broke me. It was just like, damn, my crush and my friend are being sexual with each other, and that shit really crushed me. It really hurt my feelings. So after that, like, me and Lee didn't talk for like 2 weeks. Like, she would text me and stuff, and after a couple days she got the picture when I wasn't responding. So after like 2 weeks, she hit me and she was just like, answer the phone, I got something to tell you, like, answer the phone. So I answer the phone. I'm like, hey girl, what's up? Mind you, at this particular time, like, did we go to school? Like, was I seeing her in school? We did go to school together, but like, we didn't have no classes together, and I don't even think we had lunch together. I don't remember ever really just hanging out with Lee at school. I don't. Like, here and there, but not really. Like, I only remember hanging out with Lee at her house, which was weird. I don't know why. Now, we did for sure go to elementary together, because that's how I met Lee. But when we got to like middle school, because this happened in middle school, I don't remember really hanging out with Lee at school. I don't know if she's here at school. Yeah, I don't know. Either we didn't have classes or something like that, or she didn't go to that. No, she had to go to that middle school. That was the only middle school. Anyways, I don't know why I didn't hang out with Lee at middle school. Like, we just didn't have classes together or lunch together. So anyways, I'm on the phone and she's basically telling me like, you gotta come over this weekend. I got a surprise for you. I'm gonna make it up to you. Just come over, come over. And I'm like, what's the surprise? Mind you, one thing about it, Lee did do, like, she would give me stuff all the time. Her mom would, or her sister would. So it wasn't uncommon for like Lee to do stuff for me. That's why I say like she was a good friend, but at the same time she wasn't. So I'm thinking maybe she got me something, a jacket. She know what I like. or whatever. Maybe she got me some clothes or something, or maybe she got some tree skis for me, because we could definitely make up for some tree skis, because I think I did have like a little stash and I was running low, because a lot of times I would get my tree skis from Lee, or that's why I was going over Lee house a lot, because I didn't have to buy tree skis. Either Lee had it, her sister had it, somebody around in that area had it. I didn't have to buy tree skis, y'all. I really didn't even start buying tree skis until I was in like high school. And then still was like, I just put on it. I never really had to really just buy it like that. So, oh y'all, this is where I regret going to her house that weekend. I should have stayed my ass home and just been mad at her and came maybe the next week. Not even the next weekend. I just should have probably just not been friends with her after that. I should have learned my lesson and was just like, this trifling ass girl is not my friend. She didn't gave my crush sloppy toppy. And it's like, okay, this one girl left a comment and I fucks with her. Like, she's one of my good supporters, and you know, I did clap back at her, but I fucks with her. But she was just like, on one of the videos, she was like, you're mad over one guy when there's like a billion or a million other guys. If I can find her comment and what I said back, I'm gonna put it up. Don't take this the wrong way, Buki. I can take constructive criticism, and I like when y'all give me y'all opinions, and I'm gonna tell y'all my opinion back. You feel me? And if it sounds snappy, it probably is. But that don't mean I don't fuck with you. You feel me? I feel like if you really fuck with somebody, you can tell them something the way you get it off your chest. You feel me? And don't take it no type of way. You know, whatever. We cool. But it was like at that age, at 12, 13, 14, teenager, you don't care. You don't care that, like, you're not looking at the world in that type of spectrum. You're not thinking of all these other boys that could be out there that like you. You're not thinking of that. You see that one boy you really like and you got a crush on, and that's all you see. And I just feel like, as my friend, if I'm telling you I have this huge crush on this boy, like, come on. At all, it's, again, like you said, it's a billion other dudes out here. It's just like, why are you flirting with my crush? Like, I can see if she told me she liked him too, but it was never like Lee really liked him. You feel me? It was just like, she knew she could do that and she wanted to make me mad. Now, she could have liked him. I'm not saying she didn't like him, but at one point ever did she really even say she liked Toby. Like, she would always try to laugh at me that I like Toby. But whole time, you like Toby. You know what I mean? But whatever. At that age, y'all, you just not thinking of that. Like, oh my God, it's other boys. Now, I did like other boys and I did have crushes on other boys, but Toby was that one. He was that one where it was just like, man, you can flirt and like and do whatever with any other crush I got. Cool. Yeah, I'll be mad. But Toby was the one I was just like, he off limits. Like, come on. Like, you know, I really like him. Like, I just feel like, as my friend, why would you want to hurt my feelings like that when you could talk to anybody else? Why him? So, anyways, y'all, I tell her, all right, girl, whatever. I'm thinking she gonna give me a bunch of tree skis or something, or some drinks, something like that, or something I like. So, better against my better judgment, because at that age, I didn't have no good fucking judgment. Obviously, I was getting myself into the dumbest shit that I could have avoided, but I didn't have good judgment. I just was trying to fill a void that I didn't even know what the void was. I just wanted attention. And it wasn't like I wasn't getting attention at home, you feel me? But I don't know, y'all. I just wanted guy attention from the guys I liked. And it was just like, I felt like in competition with some of my friends with these guys. So it felt like, okay, they did this, so now I need to one up them on this. They giving head, I need to get head. They giving up coochie, I need to give up coochie. I'm just keeping it real with y'all, okay? I'm just telling y'all 100% what the hell was going on in my thought process at that time. So I go to leave the house that weekend. And she did have tree skis for me. She was like, I got the tree skis for you. My sister gave me a bunch of tree skis and I wanted to give you some, but this ain't even a surprise. And I'm like, well, what the hell is the surprise, girl? It ain't my birthday. Like, she was like, my cousin and his friend is going to be coming over to my house today. And I'm thinking, if y'all don't know the story time I told about the cousin she was into, that story time, if I can find it, I'm gonna put it up here. I'm thinking she talk about this cousin, and y'all already know what happened with that cousin. I'm just like, girl, I'm cool off that cousin. Like, been there, done that. You and him was kind of weird, and I ain't got time to be dealing with no boy who is into his cousin. Like, that's what I'm not about to do. Like, I'm naive about a lot of stuff, but I know that right there is not right. Okay, like, nah. So I'm like, I'm like, girl, if that's the surprise, I could have stayed at home. I mean, I'm gonna take the tree skis. I'm gonna stay. I'm already here, but girl, She like, no, not that cousin. I got another cousin. Well, of course she had like other cousins, but she was just like, no, a different guy cousin. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not even tripping. I'm just like, all right, girl, like, what, like, why is this a surprise? And she was like, no, you gonna be happy. You gonna be happy with these ones. You gonna be happy with these ones. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, mind you, her other cousin, he was fine. So I'm like, okay, probably fine, whatever. Y'all, so we at her house, we chilling. We hear a knock on the door. So Lee like, oh, that's probably my cousins. My uncle just probably dropped him off. Go get the door. So I'm like, no, I don't want to get the door. She's like, go get the door. And I'm like, no, I don't want to get the door. She's like, go get the door. Because y'all would answer Lee door all the time. Like, literally, Lee was like my second house. Lee was like my sister. Like, we just had this love-hate relationship. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Y'all open that fucking door. And her other cousin was fine. And he but when I opened that door and I saw her other cousin and his friend, y'all. Toby who? Toby who? Who's a Toby? I don't know a Toby. Toby? Toby? Who's that? Who's that? Maybe I was 13. Because this was like the beginning of the end of me really liking Toby. Maybe I was 13. I was like 12, 13. Now, mind y'all, a lot of the story times I be telling y'all about the neighborhood with Lee and them, all that shit happened in a short period of time. All that happened between 7th grade and 8th. Damn, hella shit happened in that time. That's crazy. Now that I'm really thinking about it, because by high school, I wasn't hanging out with Lee like that in the neighborhood like that. Damn, all them story times I'm telling y'all about Lee in that neighborhood really happened in like 2 years. Damn. So anyways, I had to be like I said, 12 or 13. But y'all, when I tell y'all, these boys was fine. When I tell, like, her other cousin, he was fine. But these ones was fine. Fine. Okay, so let me describe her cousin. I'm going to give them names in part 2. But let me just describe them, and then we just go end this off right here. So her cousin, he was Portuguese and El Salvadorian. Y'all, he had them blue eyes. He was fine. Like, he was one of them fine little Mexican white boy. When I tell you he was so fine, he had tats and shit already. Oh, he was so fine, y'all. He was so fine. He was so fine. Like, y'all, he was just so fine. The friend, fine. Brown skin, green eyes, dirty blonde hair, just, boy, ooh, y'all, they was fine. Like, when I say fine, that, like, I mean, to some people, that's not their type, but y'all, them two was, they was my type, okay? Because y'all know I went through a phase where I just had a thing for Latin boys, and then the light-skinned boys, and it was just both my favorite flavors. I was like, and they both had them color eyes. I don't know what it was about them boys with them color eyes, y'all. That's what it was. Like, because mind you, Lee's other cousin, The one that they allegedly was messing around, he had colored eyes too. But these two was so fine, y'all. I was like, when I opened that door, I was like, bitch, mouth on the ground. My mouth was on that goddamn ground, y'all. I couldn't even speak. I was like, they was like, is Lee here or Lee mom here? And I'm like, they're like, hello? And I'm like, oh, yeah, come in. Y'all, I'm looking at Lee, you know, I'm like, you came through. Like, this is a surprise. I like. Whole time, this is a night fucking mare. This shit went left so quick, y'all, and I regret meeting these people. I regret going to her house that weekend. Now that I'm older, I regret even being friends with Lee. Because this shit, the events that transpired after this, whew, really, 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 really like changed me. It really changed me. It traumatized me. So much happened. It just, but yeah, y'all, my camera finna die anyway, so I'm just gonna wrap this up. I'm a vibe, you a vibe, we should vibe.